What's up, guys? Another episode of My Favorite Records. Tonight, I'm going to put you on a band that's finally getting their roses years after they've been broken up. This is Majesty Crush and the Butterflies Don't Go Away compilation record. I'm stoked to talk about this record. So back in the 90s, Majesty Crush were this cool kind of dream pop and shoegaze mix. And when you think of shoegaze, you're probably thinking of like the great heavyweights. My Bloody Valentine, Slow Dive, Glare, for a more modern shoegaze band. I love Leaving Time. Leaving Time is a great band. But what separates Majesty Crush from all those bands is where shoegaze has rather beautiful vocals, but they're usually drowned in the mix. Dave Strader, who sadly isn't with us anymore, his vocals are front and center on this album. And I gotta say, I love his lyrics and I love his presence throughout all the songs on this album. They did go through some lineup changes over time. Their bassist, Hobie Eklund, he did leave around the time that they were releasing some EPs and singles after Love 15. But I want to talk and maybe go a little track by track. I don't want to make this too long, but I first found Majesty Crush through funny enough, I think it was a TikTok post about music you should listen to. So I saw the album cover for their other compilation record called I Love You in Other Cities with that beautiful nighttime photo. I'm such a big fan of, night lights and cityscapes. And I was like, whoa, that sounds like something I should listen to. And I'm glad I did. And the first track off side A for their Love 15 record was Boyfriend. And Boyfriend is such a cool song. As Hobie describes it, they have this kind of airplane intro, like a plane that's landing, taking off. Actually, it sounds a lot like one. And he said that it was kind of inspired by Babes in Toyland, another great, really cool band with Kat. And I love the guitar line with the delay and how the lyrics, they get progressively darker over time. Dave Strader, he's trying to prove himself to this girl. And I love how Hobie, in an interview, he mentioned that the lyrics drop out for a bit and he goes, he'll bring you minestrone when you want egg drop. So, Dave's even going as far to get the right soup, for this girl to be her boyfriend over who she's currently seeing. And Uma, a really great song, Uma Thurman. That's kind of like a motif in Dave's writing is I guess he had a lot of crushes. That's, he just wrote about them. I really love that song. I really love the very thick, distorted guitar. It's just disgusting. That Rat distortion pedal is just perfect for those big, just wall of sound tones that you hear, like I said, on My Bloody Valentine records, like Kevin Shields, And Number One Fan, that's probably a big song from Love 15. If you know maybe vaguely anything about Majesty Crush, great bass line. I'm a guitarist primarily, but I do enjoy playing bass, and that one's a really fun one to play. Hobie has these almost like Peter Hook-esque bass lines, and I love playing those bass lines because, Peter would always say, I'm like a frustrated guitarist playing the bass, but that's one of the best parts about Joy Division, in my opinion. So, and New Order, can't forget New Order. And Brand is a really cool song. I feel like when you're going through the flow of these songs, you might not even expect it, but it's such a cool song. Dave has such great, breathy vocals. I love the ending. Just the ending of that song is perfect. Of course, the whole song is great, but something about the ending, it's so ethereal. Something about it, it's great. I love the interludes on this record. Some of these are were songs, and then they just were reworked into being interludes into, songs on side A and side B. And how do you pronounce it? Sales. That's a really cool song too. Very, very dream poppy, very calm. He's writing, or singing about, Monica, this tennis player, you know, backhand every time. I love it. Grow is a really cool song that kind of picks up the tempo. That's a really neat one. Really like the vocal melody in that one. Pretty Head, another interlude. And again, all these interludes, you know, they could have, I wish they were longer. I could just put those on and listen to those, you know, on loop. They're so cool, even though they're so short. Cicciolina, I love that song. I love that bass line. I heard that Hobie was trying to learn like a Velvet Underground song, I believe it was, and then he came up with that bass line. I love Dave's lyrics, you know. Cicciolina is a star sitting naked in my car, and he sounds so excited singing that on the record. It's great. Skin, another interlude. That's probably my favorite interlude. Now, okay, I got the track listing a little wrong. I'm sorry. I looked ahead. Penny for Love. That's probably their most accessible song, like poppy song. And the story is that Dave, by misfortune, got picked up and profiled and thrown in jail for a weekend for a crime he didn't commit. And I recall Hobie Eklund, the bassist, saying it, and instead of writing a song like NWA's Fuck the Police or like, you know, a raunchy punk rock song, and I'm a big punk rock fan, don't get me wrong. I'm sure you know if you watch my favorite record videos, they wrote Penny for Love, and I love that bass line. That's another one I play, because although simple, I love how it goes to the higher octave on the bass part. It reminds me again of Peter Hook, and it's just so beautiful. I mean, Dave's vocal lines are just, you know, he has these breathy, high vocals. And the best part about that song is that it's this poppy song, but it's about a male prostitute saving up his money to, you know, run away with his lover, you know. So it's this poppy song, and it just has this background to it. You know, so many of Dave's lyrics have that background. It's great, you know, because it gave them a different feeling, you know, from other shoegaze bands, you know. Like, of course, you know, I couldn't live without Slowdive's Dagger, but same thing here with, you know, Feigned Sleep. I was driving home from a Adolescent Circle Jerks and Descendants show, which was amazing, as you can imagine, and I had Love 15 on there, this compilation, you know, that has it on it, and I was listening to Feigned Sleep, and it's just perfect, you know. It matches like any mood, really, and it's about sleep. It doesn't put you to sleep, I can tell you that. And the final track, Horse, that's a really cool one, really cool bass in the intro, and it kind of picks up and then it goes back down. So Majesty Crush, they were great with the dynamics like that, especially like in Boyfriend, the first track, how they kind of recorded it and kind of arranged it in the studio. You know, if you're playing Boyfriend on bass, the kind of funniest part of it is how like it'll go from these fast parts to the slow parts. You know, it just goes like the spontaneity of it, you know, like a moment in life, like you're living right now. Right now is the moment, not in the future, not in the past. It's great. That's what I take from it. Now, they have some EPs and singles, and those are worth talking about too. I'm not going to talk about all of them. I'll talk about the ones maybe I'm more familiar with. Sunny Pie, that might be my favorite Majesty Crush song. You know, I love those lyrics too. You know, the lyrics, you worked at an X-rated bookstore. I was a little surprised when it came for entertainment. You were in the booth waiting for my payment. You know, I love that. It's so Dave, you know, and Hobie said that's who Dave was. Not like, he wasn't an over-sexualized guy, but what I mean is that Hobie would say, you know, as like his lyrics in Boyfriend, you know, I'm gonna walk, I'm gonna jig, I'm gonna walk, I'm gonna jig, I'm gonna talk to her, smile, you know. Probably butchered that. I know someone's gonna correct me in the comments. But yeah, it was perfect, you know, and it's sad that he's not here with us anymore. You know, I was thinking, I was like, who else would they get for a reunion gig if they ever did one? But Sunny Pie is a great song. Another just chill song, you know, and miss the contents of the lyrics. It's such a chill, pretty song, You know, I especially love the second verse. And like I guess the chorus. They used to call their parts of their songs, per break window, which I think is great. I think that would confuse me more than anything. I'd be like, wait. But I remember the lyrics are, I remember when we went out and you dressed me in your lingerie, even though I'd pout those sexy words you say, sunny pie. It's just, I love that. It's so different, even if it's like a little oversexed, as so what? If JFA were still together, now I love JFA, like Jodie Foster's Army, another great seminal punk band. And it's interesting because Hobie Eklund pointed this out. JFA, Jodie Foster's Army, well, that ties in with Number One Fan, because Number One Fan is about Jodie Foster's Psycho Stalker. I'm your number one fan. So he wrote Number One Fan about that. And then if JFA were still together, and JFA's name is Jodie Foster's Army. So Dave had these cool motifs or just ideas, when writing, and it's so cool when all of that, comes together. That's really neat. Here, I'll let you see the gatefold art. Can you see that? I'm working with an iPhone, so I know someone's gonna yell at me that it's not this way, or it's like vertical and not horizontal, but is what it is. So yeah, I don't want to make this too long of a video, but I felt compelled to make a video about this. It truly is one of my favorite records, and I'll look through my records, and I looked through today, and I pulled out Dirk Wears White Socks, Adam Ant or Adam and the Ants, and Hanoi Rocks, Malibu Beach Nightmare, or Malibu Beach Nightmare, I think the album's called. And those are two albums that influenced me greatly too, but I felt like this is, actually one of my top favorite records. Not that they're all not my favorite record, but regardless, yeah, I think you should go listen to this record. If you're a fan of shoegaze, you like it, cool. If you don't like it, leave a comment, give me your opinion. Rest in peace, Dave Strawder. And I hope the other members of Majesty Crush are healthy and doing well. Coming from a guitarist myself, I love Michael's guitar work on this record. I think there's a story where they said somebody else who was more accomplished, a more accomplished player wanted to join the band, but here comes Michael with a guitar with 3 strings tuned to D-A-A, and I think he had some pedals or something, and they were like, no, let's get this guy. That's just awesome, because people forget the spirit of a band is just getting in and creating, and you get better as time goes on. I've played guitar for 6 years, and I love what Michael played on this record. It's great. Some people might have just done inversions and been like, yeah, I can go shoegaze Hendrix all over this. But he didn't. It's really cool. I love Hobie's bass lines. Again, very Peter Hook-ish or esque, and I love that because when I play bass as a guitarist, I love playing Peter's bass lines. It just makes sense for me. And Odell nails. I love his drumming on this record, especially in Brand and Penny for Love. The intro, maybe simple, but you got to do simple well. That's how I see it. So, and what is there to say about Dave? And his awesome vocals and his presence on stage. They're enigmatic. I remember Hobie said that they were happy, he didn't want to be tied to the mic stand playing guitar, where you're, because you're there the entire, show, sorry. I mean, if you do end up doing that. So it's very cool. And, this is kind of dedicated to him, and, that's how I see it. And I like that when I think it was Dave's sister was going through David's thing, around the time that I think they found the master tapes for Love 15, that he had a note somewhere that said, if something happens to me, I just want my music to be heard. And I think that's a true sign of an artist and someone who really dedicated their life to art. And I think that they did get robbed in a way, getting dropped by their sub-label off Elektra, and Elektra didn't... Look, I don't know what went on. I don't know what happens in that industry, and it's just unfortunate, but I'm so happy that they're getting a new lease on life now, and the reviews coming out are giving them justice. And I think you should go listen to Majesty Crush. All right. Peace out. Thanks.